Hi, this is my flower crown page I came up with a couple of years ago, inspired by other layouts on Pinterest. And it's using punches and pens to create a unique design. So you'll need lots of flower punches, you'll need some designer papers, and you'll need your journal pen to do all your markings on your flowers, because I find the punches on their own are a little bit ordinary, but once you add this definition, it creates such a fabulous layout. So let's get started, and make sure you've chosen lots of different papers to go with it. I am using one photo, but the orientation is portrait instead of landscape. And because it's quite a dark photo, I wanted to matte it several times. So I have chosen this Midnight Shimmer cardstock and cut it 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, or 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and we're going to matte that now. But I also wanted to double matte it because of my background colours, and you'll see that shortly. So let's start by doing that, and then I'm matting it onto a white cardstock that I've inked the edges, and the size of this cardstock is 4.5 by 6.5 inches, so it will give a beautiful double matting. But I really liked the edges inked, which I used the stamp pad out of our stamping kit, and you can see how great that'll look. The papers I've chosen to use is our Botanical Burst. There's 4 different colour themes in that, yellow, green, blue and pink. But for this layout, I think mainly for the flowers, I'm going to use blue and pink, and just the green for the leaves, and leave the yellow out altogether. Right, now that's mounted. Now also you can see on my original design I double mounted the backing. This time I'm only going to single mount it. So I've chosen a black cardstock background, and I've already gone ahead and trimmed 1/2 inch off one side, 1/2 inch, rotated it and turned rotated it and trimmed 1/2 inch off the second side, and that we're going to mount to our cardstock. We also need to draw a circle on this to give us a guide for our flower crown, so we know where we're going to place our flowers. So before I mount that, I'm going to create the circle, so I'll pop that to one side. Now using the 13 inch by 13 inch mat, we will line that up. You've got several options on how to draw your circle. You could use the large custom cutting system jumbo circle, cut out a template and then draw that. What I actually tried to do this time, because I wish to use the new Creative Memory circle cutter and try that option, my instructions say that if you're using the jumbo circle template, to cut on the inside with the blue blade. So I use this as a guide to get my measurement for my circle, so I could get it pretty much all spot on. And that's what I use to measure, lining it up with the 6 inch mark on my mat to get it perfectly to the right size. I hope that makes sense. So I know that that's going to be perfectly the right size. So let's take that away because we don't need that now. And now The great thing about the circle cutter, and they're about to come back into stock this month, is not only does it draw circles, it cuts circles. And you can go, cutting you can go from 3" to 12", and drawing you can go from 11¼ to about 3" roughly. But we're going to use the draw option. Now I want to try to line up this line with my 6" mark, making sure that I'm going to line it up evenly on this side as well. So the middle of this will need to go into the middle, and then I'll need to line it up with my lines to match the lines on my mat. So that way we'll get it roughly right in the middle of the mat. So that looks pretty close. Now you can only use the fine tip end of your pen, and you can only use Creative Memories pens with it. So if we pop that in, make sure it's clicked in, and then we're going to draw. I think if you put the pen in before you put your cutter down, you won't end up with that splodge. But that won't matter because we're going to cover it with flowers anyway. It's really just to create a guide for us. So as you can see, that was fairly easy, and it's fairly evenly spaced. So now that we've done that, we'll move all those tools out the way because we don't need them. And the next part is to work out where we are going to place our photo, because our flowers will go around in the crown around it. I don't know whether I want to go that side or the other side. To create our layout, you are going to need to have lots of flower punches and some leaf punches. Now I use the Cherry Blossom from Creative Memories. I can't remember what this one was called. It came in one of our secret boxes. The Scalloped Circle. The Daisy Punch. Two smaller flower punches. This one's a really old one, but this one came in our trio set. The 3-in-1 leaf punch, and the 5-leaf punch. Now to create the definition in your punched out pieces, you will need to use a journaling pen, and they're really quite simple to do. So it's just a matter of using the fine tip end of your pen and drawing around the edge. Will start by giving you some definition. Now it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to be able to see the definition in it. And I think by doing this, you instead of it just being a plain punch, you actually give it some character. And instead of them all looking the same, they actually all look different. Oh, put a couple little spots around that. It's an amazing bit of pen work, how different they begin to look. And I'm doing this very quickly and very roughly, I have to say. But you know, you really don't even need to take too much care, because the great thing about it, I use a thicker end in the middle. The great thing about it is there's no right and wrong. And you can see that's already taken on a bit of a definition of a flower. For these ones, I simply created a larger spot in the center and then did a circle around it, which I then created some lines, so it's the center of a flower. Went around the edges. And I apologise, this is done a little bit rough, but I'm trying to do it nice and quick for you. And then it's just a matter of creating the petal lines. You can see how that takes on a whole new look. Then for these ones, I just went around these ones were really easy, went around the edge of the whole thing. And I'm sorry, I'm doing this rather rough and very quickly. I'm a bit further from the camera than I'd like to be, but you'll get the idea. And then I just joined the center circles. Both center circles. And once they were all joined, and I have done that very rough, I just added dots in the middle and then gave definition to my petals. So you just need to look at the shape of your punch and look at the organic nature of it, and you'll soon work it out pretty easily how easy it is to do. For the smaller ones, they were even easier still. So it's just a matter of dot in the center, edge the outside, up. Make that a bit bigger in the center, and the outside. That really does look rough. And then just doing little loops gave it like it looked like flower petals. So really simple and easy, and as rough as that is, it still looks like a flower. The smaller ones were even easier still. Once again, around the outside. And they won't be this rough on the layout. So I'll be a bit close, my head will be a bit closer to them to see. Dot in the middle. Join the petals. Oop. And then just a dash in them. Easy flower. The leaves were really easy. Once again, just following the outline and giving it a bit of definition to make it look like a leaf. Really simple. The 5-leaf leaf, all I did was follow the outline. And as rough as that's been done, you kind of get the general idea. How that just changes the whole aspect. And then the last two I have to show you, this is the stem for the daisies, which I turned into a carnation. You can see it kind of looks like a golf tee, and I just cut that by hand, so it's really simple. And went around the outside of it, so really quite simple. And then to make the actual carnation itself, I just took my large daisy punch and a pair of precision point scissors. Once I punched it out, I cut it in half, and then it's just a matter of taking off one leaf off one side. That's all it is. Get rid of that. And then just doing, we'll turn that over, running around the outside of it. Flip that one over. That's done pretty rough. Then using our repositionable tape, this part with the 3 leaves has to sit behind. Add that to the front. Oop. Sticking to my fingers. You can see how that already kind of looks up like a carnation. Then a bit of adhesive on the front there. Add the stem. Bingo, you have your carnation. And your flowers are as easy as that. You just have to create lots of them and then work out where you're going to place them. We'll do that next. Now you have finished decorating all your flowers and leaf pieces, it's time to put it all together. As you can see, I've started laying out roughly where the flowers might go, and then what's left here should be fairly easy to fill in because I've started with the largest one. So if we go ahead and stick all of those down, and then I'll come back to you and show you putting down the last lot of flowers. But it's really arranging it how you'd like it. I kind of think that kind of works, and I'm pretty happy with that layout. Now I've adhered all the larger pieces to my circle. Eventually you won't see this line at all. So now it's a matter of adding the next size down and smaller leaves to give it definition, and then finally we will add these ones at the end. So you just need to lay them out roughly where you think they might look great. I think there's no right or wrong way with this. I think if you've chosen good colours, it'll all work together anyway. And you may need to use a multi-purpose tool to lift pieces. Now I've used repositionable tape runner because I think that way you know, if you need to move pieces or lift pieces, it makes it nice and easy. So let's start adhering some of these smaller pieces. And some of our smaller ones, we can start adding those. as I said, no right or wrong. It however you like it. And I think it's coming together quite nicely. I do think it needs more leaves. Let me see where we're going to put that. That'll be great there. And you just need to keep filling it, as you can see I'm doing. Lift that. And while we've got that lifted, it might be a great time to add a leaf. Oops. Need a leaf or something there, I think. Maybe a couple. Okay, I think we're just about ready to start adding our larger carnations. Now you may have to cut them to suit. I think I'm going to actually use a pink one there. We've got a pink one with a dark stem. I think that's going to be quite good. Time I lift that and pop that there, I think that'll be great. Maybe that one there. And a few more, maybe a smaller one here. Might go a very small one there actually. Sit with the size of the flowers better. Multi-purpose tool, and we'll lift that slightly so we can get under that. As you can see, it really is not hard because there's no right or wrong. It's just really wherever you want things. Let's pop a small one down. I wonder whether we can go there. I think so. Something small up the top. I'll stand back and have a look to see if it needs anything else after that. I think it might need a few more of these leaves added to it. In various places, like there. Just to finish it off nicely. Now you could do journaling on the inside if you want to there. I think I'm just going to leave mine the way it is. Add a few more leaves. But I think I'm nearly done. I think that's finished. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.